Hello everyone, welcome to my coding vlog. In this one we will focus on, well, coding, but also a new keyboard arrived in my mail. And I thought it would be a nice opportunity to combine a keyboard test with some improvements for my typing game. But first, for those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Marco. I'm an indie app developer based in Oslo, Norway, and in these vlogs I like to share how I build my apps and some tech content here and there, and sometimes both. Like today. In this video we will talk about building a backend, and through some struggles I encountered we will also discover some quirks of HTML minification and get to the deep end of the HTML standard itself. So let's buckle up. That being said, what are we working on? Some time ago I made a fun little game specifically for testing out new keyboards. You can play it already, I added a link in the description, and you can even read the code on GitHub. The game is essentially about accurately typing snippets of code from famous open source repositories, and it measures your performance in terms of characters per minute. Now, part of this video is a sponsored look at Base44. So let's quickly get familiar with what Base44 is, and then we'll get back to coding and we will take a look at open PRs that we have on GitHub and make some more improvements. Broadly speaking, Base44 is a comprehensive platform that helps you make apps. Now, you can let Base44 make an entire app for you using some AI, for which they do provide free credits, or, which is what I want to focus on, you can use them as a backend as a service, and you don't even have to vibe code anything at all. One of the PRs I have open is for adding a history of typing runs, so that we can all track our progress with typing speed. So I will try to build that feature for you guys using Base44. But there are two things that are interesting here. Number one, my existing client code somehow managed to break Base44, at least part of it. And I am proud of my little investigation I conducted, because I did manage to find the cause and I actually let them know in the support. And number two, I think the way Base44 backend as a service is designed is very reasonable and actually addresses a number of issues I had with, for example, Firebase, which I was pleasantly surprised with. So let's talk about how the backend actually works and what the Base44 CLI does for you. Using the CLI, you initialize the project and it first creates a number of skills for your agent of choice. And that essentially enables you to one-shot new features and troubleshoot issues very quickly. Now, I gave up on using Claude when they essentially destroyed the usage limits, but that's a story for another day. And even though you don't have to vibe code anything, it's kind of convenient, and because my feature is not that very large or complicated, I described my requirements to Gemini 3.1 Flash, and it went ahead and it just did it. Because again, my requirements weren't super complex, but I'm going to make an observation that that little model is actually quite good. Now, the interesting thing is how Base44 works. And the workflow is something like this. First, you define your entities and schema in a simple JSON file. Then you push the schema to the server, and your backend will now validate the data you're saving. This entity schema also contains security rules, and we will come back to this later. What's important is that the schema is the source of truth. But as a final step, and this is something that I really like, the CLI exports type definitions in TypeScript, which then gives you type safety on the client directly from the schema. And so you can have a lot more confidence about what exactly you're building and if it's going to work or not with the backend that you just deployed. Now, I know that some projects will always require a completely bespoke backend, sure, but this feels a lot more mature than, for example, Firebase, where you can save anything with no schema, no validation rules, and you don't have any source of truth. I think this approach that we have with the centralized schema is a lot more reasonable. We will discuss the backend a little bit more later, but there's just one more PR that I wanted to merge. This one is from a German user who fixed the handling of the Alt key, because on German and some other keyboards, pressing Alt is how you type special characters like brackets and so on, and this is pretty critical for a coding typing game. And the issue was that my code was essentially treating pressing Alt as a mistake, which was a mistake, but on my part. So a well-placed one-liner from this user and we're golden. I ran the project locally just as a sanity check and everything worked as expected, but thinking about it, if I am going to be a responsible maintainer of this repository, I should probably write some tests. Now, the second PR is a lot more extensive, and it's this one that inspired me to build a whole history feature of users typing runs. But I wanted to take it a step further and add a login feature as well, so that we can track our typing progress reliably across different devices, and that we can have leaderboards later that we can kind of trust. But now let's go and get our hands on that new keyboard, and after that I will show you how I broke Base44 and their frontend server with my client-side code, with HTML no less. Alright, so this right here is the highly suggested Nuphy Air 75 V3. And I just want to be very clear that I bought this one with my own money. It's a 75% triple mode keyboard with an aluminium chassis and a plastic back. I think the design works really well, and I like the color scheme and the accented buttons. However, this red button can also be swapped with a custom dial, which can be programmed to be all kinds of things, but I guess by default it's going to be the volume knob. Anyhow, let's see how this thing works. I will just commit my latest changes, and this will give us the opportunity to hear what it sounds like. But at the end, there is going to be a full ASMR test with a separate microphone and a direct comparison to my existing low-free Flow keyboard, so make sure to watch until the end. Alright, now let's do a quick quiz to see how well you know the HTML standard. I'll just write a super simple HTML file, and then you try to guess what the DOM will actually look like. I was quite surprised by this, and I'm sure the front-end devs at Base44 were as well. So check this out. I have an h1 title tag closed properly, and then I have two paragraphs with a span in each one, but none of them closed. So what do you think the DOM will look like? Well, if you guessed that the tags will be closed properly like this, congratulations! You know the spec very well. But let's dive deeper. It turns out that if you open another block level tag, like a paragraph, before closing prior tags, they are going to be closed automatically. And it turns out many bundlers actually take heavy advantage of this when minifying your output, just like the parcel bundler that I'm using in this project. But how could that break Base44? Well, let me show you the final version of the game and how it runs from the dashboard. So when I open the deployed game, it runs just fine, but you will notice that for logged in admins only, they inject this little edit with Base44 button dynamically into my HTML. And because the HTML was heavily minified by Parcel, it straight up crashed the HTML parser on their end. But that doesn't matter. Once I turned up some of the aggressive minification, it started working just fine. Now, let's do a full typing test ASMR style so you can hear the keyboard. And here for the comparison, here's the low-free keyboard that I already have. What do you think, guys? Which one do you like better? Let me know in the comments. But now, since I have my stats hosted on the Base44 backend, one benefit of having a login feature is that I can see my best score overall from a few days ago. And it turns out it was actually recorded on the MacBook Air keyboard. Something about it, I don't know, but it just works so well for my fingers. But a few final thoughts on Base44 to back up what I said before with feeling a bit more mature than Firebase and some other similar platforms. First of all, I like the automations feature and how they're using some AI to provide helpful suggestions on what automations could be useful based on your data schema. So we have weekly coding session summary, daily practice session reminders, and so on. And this is all driven by the schema, which is the source of truth for your app. Now, secondly, they also provide helpful tips, again using some AI, on how to secure your schema properly. And this can be very helpful when you're going from a prototype to a full production app. And also you can define AI agents with permissions to operate on specific entities in the database, as well as call backend functions. And most importantly, all of it is type safe, because you can generate the types in the same way as for the entities themselves. It all feels very thought out, and I'm starting to think that maybe I should have some agents organize weekly competitions or leaderboards for the typing games, with things like announcing the winners, sending congratulation emails, and maybe even adding new snippets of code when popular open source repositories get updated. That would be a lot of fun actually, and I would love to participate in this global competition. But anyhow, if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, it really helps me a lot, and I'm excited to test out more gadgets for you guys, to share the behind the scenes on how I work on my apps, test and benchmark new hardware, and if you're thinking about starting a new project, consider Base 44, check out the links in the description, and I will see you in the next one.